ati tukichuana hakutakuwa na vita. You don't need that. Although we will pass it, we are telling the president, the only way to guarantee that there is going to be peace in this country after every election is if you retire with Raila Odinga. Moja nyumbani pamoja. Then that is a sure guarantee. That is a sure bet ya kwamba sababu nani anafanya anga watu wapigane Kenya hii? Si ni Raila? Nani anakataanga uchaguzi? Do we need a document kuambia Raila usipigane? Do we need a referendum kuambia Raila usingoe reli? Sio, ni mambo ya common sense jamani. Why do we need to fanya hii sarakasi yote? Kuambia Raila wewe jamani umezeeka. Wachia wa vijana kina William Ruto, Moses Kuria, enda nyumbani na mganga wako. And apumzike, and that is the surest bet that there is going to be peace in this country. Ya mwisho kabisa nataka kumuongelesha rafiki yangu mtu anaitwa Haji, the DPP. Mr. DPP, you stand a chance to become the best and the most efficient DPP in the Republic of Kenya. Lakini jana huu DPP aliita press conference ya kuona mtu anaitwa Waitito na governor wa Samburu. Ati ya kwamba mkifanya hivi itakuwa hivi. Mr. DPP, you don't belong to press conferences. You belong to the courtroom. If you have any application, go and take it to judges. Only a judge can warn. You have no power to warn. Kama unajua mimi I'm a frequent court user. Vile mnajua nashikango kila mara. Na mimi ndio chairman ya cooperative ya wale wanashikango. Na niko na member mpya anaitwa Sonko. So kwa niaba ya hao wote ambao tunashikwa tafadhali. Kama chairman wa hiyo sako na kuomba kwa unyenyekevu, stop talking in press conferences because that is creating impunity and that is creating a reign of terror. Your praise is in the court. Ongea na judge. Mwambie judge nimeona Waitito wamefanya hivi na hivi. Lakini sasa hiyo kuweka watu baridi ati ya warning as who? Unajua mimi nimeshikwa, huwezi kunitisha na kushikwa. Ukinishika tu na mako wa kalenda yangu mara ya 15 nimeshikwa. Kuna shida. So you cannot keep on speaking from the roadside. Unaongea huko. Wakulini wakipiga drama na wewe unapigania hiyo airwave na wao. Na by the way nikuambie tunagojea DPP Governor Kasaine kutoka Samburu, chama ya Jubilee ako nje. Governor Waitito, chama ya Jubilee ako nje. Governor Sonko, chama cha Jubilee ako nje. Si utafuti hata moja ya ODM jameni. At least kukuwe na balance kidogo. Kama sababu ya hii handshake ndio tukue pamoja. Gaita mradhime na mwekewe. Asante sana.
When you mention the name Moses Kuria to any Kenyan, what comes to mind? A very controversial, toxic politician who in the past has said all kinds of crazy things. But now, this man is in the Kenyan cabinet. I'm not joking. I'm serious. And of course, he's trying to reinvent himself. Yeah, he's trying to be a different Moses Kuria. Now, don't get me wrong. Moses Kuria has a very impressive CV. He was a banker, and a good one at that, before he entered elective politics. That is true. However, his kind of politics, the way he has played politics, the way Kenyans have come to know him as a politician, is a far cry from the Moses Kuria as portrayed in his very impressive CV in the financial sector. So much so that there are so many Kenyans who are fooled into believing that Moses Kuria didn't go to school. He did, up to a very advanced level. Yeah. But then he chose this path in politics. And it seemed it worked out for him. He got elected every time he vied for political office without any problem. So it worked with the masses. However, in my opinion, it is now going to be very difficult for Moses Kuria to transform himself into a cabinet secretary who can be taken seriously by Kenyans who know him from his past. That is the sad reality. Because building an image anywhere in the world and in any society is a very difficult thing. It takes time. However, changing that image into something else amongst the people who already know you is a very difficult thing to pull off. Not impossible, but extremely difficult. Now I want us to listen in to the vetting, very fascinating, of Moses Kuria, and especially where he answers very good questions posed at him, like the one about the remark he made about removing something from President Uhuru Kenyatta. Kutoa Makende kutoka Uhuru Kenyatta. Oh gosh, I can't believe I said that. But that's what Moses Kuria said. I'm finding it difficult even to repeat it, but he said it. Listen in to how he answered that question. Or shall I say pushed it aside. Super fascinating. I'll be back.
Chair, I still want to deal with Chapter 6, which is very important for nomination and election or appointment of public or state officers. And we must look at that article in terms of deed and word. Now, the nominee is publicly known. He's a very highly publicly known individual. His comments, his on Twitter, on Facebook, his temperament has actually been highly publicized. He himself did say that he was bribed by the Honorable Amos Kimunya. And Peter Mungai's affidavit, which is in our files, states that in 2013, he threatened to hunt down those that had voted for Raila Odinga. Again, I understand early this year from this affidavit, he threatened to remove one of Uhuru's, I cannot say the word, maybe he can, male engine parts. And he's been noted on national TV using 4-letter words. And not to forget that he once walked out of a TV live interview. So I'd like to ask the nominee, do you honestly feel that you sufficiently qualify to pass the integrity test?
Moses, you can answer those 4.
Thank you very much. Chair, I will, if I may seek guidance, can I choose any order to answer?
Yes.
So that I can.
You answer all the 4 questions.
Thank you very much.
In as precise a manner as they are precisely asked.
Thank you. Chair, I ask that because I would want to dispense on the whole issue surrounding Chapter 6 that have been raised by Honorable Robert Boy and my good friend Honorable Ichungwa and Honorable Opio and I. We've come from a very divisive phase in the politics of our country. Most of us were players in that contest for a long time. And for myself, this contest was, or this participation was way even before I became a member of parliament, since I came back to this country in 2007. So I've been around for around 15 years. I was also around before even I went into professional practice. I should have mentioned that I was the treasurer of the student organization of Nairobi University. So I was politically exposed from that point. And I grew up under the wings and tutelage of Kenneth Matiba and Jaramogi Oginga Odinga. So from the onset, I was weaned and grew up at the time that you were agitating for multipartyism and democracy in this country. That kind of a background at a very early age, because I started working with the team of Matiba and Jaramogi. I was part of the Sabasaba movement. I was there at Kamukunji when we were fighting for removal of Section 2A when I was only 21 years old. And
as a participant, we've been involved in, yes, very divisive moments. And the division that characterized this country also shaped many people. So that's a reality. It can only be my hope and desire that all of us collectively will be able to see a Kenya that now, because that is now we're talking about 30 years, that we can be able to graduate into better political culture that is more issue-based, that is not personality-based. Within those 30 years of divisive politics, we've all collectively said things and done things which to each other we need to have a moment of repentance and forgiveness against each other. And that is not just to me, that is to many political players in this country. So let me say that any perceived extremism or divisiveness on my side has been shaped by the kind of political culture we've had. And going forward, as we progress, I am going to play my role in ensuring that we have a culture where political competition is not enmity, but it's just that competition. And I do not think that personally, as a person, I have got anything within my DNA that is synonymous with hate or extremism or separation. I have been in this parliament. I enjoy very good relations with most of these members, good moments and bad moments, and with most political players. And so to answer the question of the Honorable Robert Boy, I think I passed that master of Chapter 6 that will enable me to play my role in taking this country forward. I am cognizant and aware of the accusation by one of the affidavits that was received about having accepted to receiving a bribe. And I think that matter was taken out of context. I was called upon to explain my comment by the Speaker, and the Speaker did point out to anything within my comments that was deemed to be external, and the Speaker ruled on that matter. Whatever I said that was outside, including some comment that was not very good to my friend Junet, whereby I actually said that comment confusing our social life outside with life inside Parliament. But I would say that I was called upon by the Speaker to explain. I explained, and in my honest and humble opinion, that matter is spent and is res judicata. And that's what I can say about it. To answer to Honorable Opio and Dice, again, as he say, correctly, misunderstood. I am misunderstood in some quarters, but those quarters are mostly within social media and elite circles. If you go to most corners of this country, they know me as a peace-loving Kenyan who is committed to cohesion and who has worked a lot to bring people together. As I can say, from some of the region where someone like Opio and I come from, a place like Kondere, I am the second most popular person after Raila Odinga, and that's on record. So I am committed to cohesion, and Kenyans can look upon me as somebody who is going to work to bring Kenyans together. Thank you, Mr. Chair, on that issue of Chapter 6. I wanted to dispense on it so that we can, in my opinion or my request, spend time to...
Yes. Did you not waive money that you had received a bribe from Kimunya? I think that is what Ichungo was asking.
Chair, I think when I waived the money, I did not say it was from Kimunya. I was only pointing out that there has been efforts to control Parliament from outside. And I believe Parliament is a very important institution. And if I am approved by this House Chair, I will do everything possible to ensure that for those of us in executive, leave Parliament to do its own work.
Are you waiving your own money?
Yes, I was waiving my own money.
What? Anyway, Moses Kuria, Cabinet Secretary Trade, went on to show off his knowledge on the docket he's about to start handling, which turned out to be very impressive. After all, the man has got a background in banking and business, which of course will be very useful in his new job. But then, the issue of his image, the issue of his past, will still stubbornly linger. Oh boy, you can't just wish that away. And so it'll be interesting to see what happens as Cabinet Secretary Moses Kuria carries out his duties in the Kenyan cabinet. And I'm sure many of us are looking forward with popcorn to see what happens. Until next time, this is Chris Kumekucha.